come back with a hickey. You say mosquito do that. Conchita, that ain't no mosquito. It was something bigger. Girl, like smell a rat. Something just ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. Why you acting so uptight? Baby, I've been loving you so long, loving you so strong. Now I'm wondering if someone has been in my cookie jar, plucking on my guitar and pop the G string. Something just ain't right. It ain't right. Why you acting so uptight? Something just ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. She gone out to a party last night. She come back with a big icky bite. She said mosquito do that. Frankly, my dear, it looks more like a bat. A vampire bat. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something ain't that right. Ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. No, why you acting so uptight? That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, Lord, it ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, Lord, it ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something ain't that right. Ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. No, why you acting so uptight? That ain't no mosquito bite. Baby, this slipping and sliding, peeping and hiding. Baby, please don't clean. Baby, I'm gonna get pocket. No time for skylocking. You know what I mean. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something ain't that right. Ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. Something just ain't right. No, something why right. You acting so uptight? That ain't no mosquito bite. You gone out to a party last night. You come back with a big icky bite. You say mosquito do that. Really, my dear, it looks more like a bat. A vampire bat. Something just ain't right. Oh, no, something ain't that right. Ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, Lord, it is. Oh, no, something ain't right. That ain't no mosquito bite. That ain't no mosquito bite. It ain't right, no, it ain't right. Oh, no, something ain't right. That ain't no.
Movement rolling out its second cohort of candidates for the next general election. This as national exams are released, those results, and later, record-breaking numbers on the island of Eleuthera. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janae Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with news from politics tonight. The Free National Movement rolling out its second batch of candidates at this hour at the party's headquarters. Eyewitness News understands that some 7 candidates are expected to be ratified for 7 constituencies representing areas right here in New Providence. We understand that one of the candidates served before under the Minnis-led administration, while the majority of the remaining are women. They're set to represent some key areas. Now, at this hour, we understand that there's also some controversy taking place at the Free National Movement headquarters on Mackey Street. That's where Andrew Blue Johnson, he was set to be ratified in the Freetown constituency, but we understand tonight that may not happen. As you can see on our screens, he is there with supporters from that area. We asked him whether or not this means he won't be ratified. He did not respond to those comments and concerns, but again, you see him along with his supporters. Freetown wants blue. It's a story we are continuing to follow tonight. But in the meantime, our Jose Etienne is live on location at the Free National Movement headquarters on Mackey Street. Jose, what's the latest?
Janelle, let me just say from the onset that when we initially arrived here several minutes ago, there wasn't a packed crowd, but things have changed quite significantly, and that's partially because of a large support of a group of supporters accompanying Mr. Andrew Blue Johnson, who is the political hopeful for the Freetown constituency under the Free National Movement's banner. As you can see, they're quite easy to point out. A number of them behind me, all around me, they're all adorned in white shirts, and perhaps that's in an attempt to send a strong message that they're perhaps disgruntled with the party selection of candidacy for their particular area. But of course, this is all a part of what's happening and what's developing here at the Free National Movement's headquarters on Mackey Street, where the opposition party is expected to unveil 7 candidates here this evening. Of course, this is the second batch to be revealed months after they revealed their initial tranche of candidates as we prepare for the next general election. And we're told among that group, of course, it consists of persons who are entering frontline politics for the very first time, others no stranger to politics, whether it be through their involvement in the upper chamber, that is the Senate, or the lower chamber, that is the House of Assembly. Now, of course, we've gotten no official word on who's been ratified, but based on what we're hearing, especially from aggrieved voters and constituents from the Freetown constituency, we're told, of course, this is unconfirmed, but we're told Lincoln Deal, a noted businessman, has been given the party's nod for the Freetown constituency. Now, Janelle, that's quite interesting because we know Mr. Deal has been eyeing the Kalani constituency that's currently held by the former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis. But nonetheless, based on what we're hearing on the ground from party insiders, that area is going to be represented by, going to be represented by Mr. Deal. Aside from him, we're told tonight's unveiling will include a number of women, at least 4 of them. So in total, you have 7 candidates, 4 women, 3 men. Again, as we've said, some of them no stranger to politics, the others political newcomers. Based on what we're hearing from the grounds, well, Janae, as you can see, I'm getting ready. I'm competing with music that's now increasing here. Again, it's beginning to get packed here at the Free National Movement headquarters. We're going to be here for the duration of the night as we expect party executives to lift the lid on who's going to be ratified candidates for the next general election. For now, we're wrapping up, but we'll be here on the grounds and we'll provide the latest. And hopefully, as we go about our live coverage here tonight, we'll be able to get someone to do an interview to get the latest on this. For now, Janae, I'm here live from the Free National Movement's headquarters, sending it back to you.
So much, our Jose Etienne joining us live from Mackey Street tonight. And we're just getting some information into our news desk. Those candidates that we expect to be ratified tonight: Heather McDonald for the Anglerston constituency, Michaela Barnett Ellis for Killarney, Tall Pines, Surfrent Roll, I think that is Surfrent Roll for Tall Pines, Lincoln Deal for Freetown, Donnelly Penn Mackey for Southern Shores. We also have Travanka Clark Hall. She's expected to be ratified for Seabreeze, and Travis Robinson for the Fort Charlotte seat. Of course, these names just coming into our newsroom. We expect that to be confirmed tonight. However, we will say that this situation remains fluid. Those names could change, but insiders tell us that these are the latest 7 that will be ratified for tonight's event. Well, on to some other news tonight. With a new school year just days away, national exam results are in, showing mixed outcomes for students. In the BGCSE performance, English language reportedly led the pack with as many as 8 out of 10 students scoring grades A through D, but in subjects like biology, bookkeeping, and math, less than half earning a passing mark. Meanwhile, for the BJC performance, the picture was a bit brighter. Nearly 7 in 10 students passing English, while math trailed with just over 50% reaching grades A through D. Our Laurencia Smith has more of the breakdown.
The results are in for the national examination across the Bahamas. Mathematics and English were the most popular subjects for students sitting both the Bahamas Junior Certificate and the Bahamas General Certificate of Secondary Education examinations. Education Director Dominique McCartney provided the latest statistics during a press conference on Thursday over at the Ministry of Education. Of the 6,103 students registered for the BGCSE examination, only 627 students achieve a minimum grade of C while taking 5 or more subjects.
37.23% attained a minimum of 5 grades at C or above, while 57.60% achieved at least 5 grades at D or above. These figures suggest that the majority of candidates met the broader threshold of academic competence.
A total of 10,478 students registered for the BJC examination. 1,316 students achieve a minimum grade of C while taking 5 or more subjects.
While 1,788 candidates, or 52.71%, achieved a minimum grade of D across the same threshold.
There was an upward trend in non-traditional subjects, with around a 90% for students performing well in arts and craft in the BJC. While over in the BGCSE, they saw a similar trend for non-traditional subjects such as art, auto mechanic, and food and nutrition. And Education Minister Gladys Hannah Martin says that government is committed to ensure that they provide the best education for Bahamians.
We have completed a math study, which has helped us to understand what alignments we have to do with our curriculum, with our materials, with the instruction. So we are now armed with empirical advice based on empirical evidence on what we need to do in terms of mathematics.
With the new academic year just days away, educational officials say that they hope to build on this year's results and see better improvement in both the BJCs and the BGCSEs. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Meantime, Eleuthera is seeking some record visitor growth. Aviation officials say the island has seen a marked improvement in numbers since 2019. And while challenges remain, they believe the island is on a massive upswing. Our Devontae Hannah is live from a tourism-led event on the island with more tonight. Devontae, what can you tell us?
Well, Janae, we're coming to you live from Workers' House here in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. Right now, we're at the Eleuthera Venture Pitch Competition hosted by the Tourism Development Corporation, and that is to ensure that they find the next best tourism business. We'll talk a little bit about that a bit later, but what I want to talk to you about right now is some big news coming out of aviation here in Eleuthera. Officials say that numbers are at record-breaking levels. We got a little breakdown of the figures. Take a look.
Actually, this is the best Eleuthera has ever performed.
And the numbers do not lie, Deputy Director General and Aviation Director Dr. Kenneth Romer asserts.
Eleuthera is actually exceeding 2019 figures by some 37%.
It comes with a 7% increase in foreign air arrivals compared to last year. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper believes the increase in arrivals show Eleuthera is on a massive upswing and becoming a destination of choice.
Eleuthera has an authenticity and a vibe that tourists love and they come for. I anticipate that the buzz for Eleuthera is going to continue and the growth is going to be sustained.
And even with the Silver Airways market exit, Cooper says Bahamas Air has been working to fill the void. Adding to that, Aztec Airways direct flights from Fort Lauderdale to North Eleuthera.
At the end of the day, the islands need service, and we're here to provide it.
While mounting concerns linger around the island's unreliable utilities becoming a detractor for guests and an issue for businesses, Cooper is confident those issues will be handled in due course.
The heavy lifting is being done with airports and roads and the hospital, etc. This is simply fantastic for the island of Eleuthera to build capacity and a foundation on which the growth can continue.
Well, there you have it. Those issues aside, the Deputy Prime Minister and government officials are pressing forward to bolster this economy and, of course, strengthen the tourism economy here. And the way they're doing that is by this venture pitch competition tonight. Like I told you, there's about 12 participants tonight that are all competing for their share of over $20,000. Whoever has the best pitch tonight before a panel of 3 judges, they will win that cash money that goes directly to their business, and which could be the next business idea that takes over Eleuthera. Earlier today, we heard from the Deputy Prime Minister. He said that while the numbers are on the upswing, the issue is that a lot of tourists are coming to Eleuthera and they're saying, there's nothing much to do, and hopefully after tonight there can be several things for them to do. We've heard from ecologists, that is. We've heard from environmentalists. We've heard from fishermen, cooks. There's a lady right now presenting a little bit about weddings. You could see there by the graphic on the screen, and she's just completed her pitch. And so we're going to stay here for the remainder of the night. We'll have the details from this event in a later newscast. But for right now, from Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera, I'm going to send it back to you in studio, Janelle.
our Devontae Hanna in Eleuthera tonight. Meantime, government planning to redirect funds received from the Saudi Fund for Development, according to Tourism Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper. Back in September of 2024, the Airport Authority of the Bahamas signing a loan agreement worth some $55 million for the redevelopment of the North Eleuthera International Airport. However, Cooper confirming tonight that the government has since utilized other sources of funding to complete the airport's upgrades and makes it clear the resources are still available for use.
We have not drawn down any funding from the Saudi Fund for Development, so that's the first point that the public needs to be aware of. The second point is that the facility is still available to us. We found alternative means of funding because the process was onerous. It was taking longer than we would have liked, but we continue to work through that process. We're making significant progress with the Saudis, and we hope to redeploy those funds to other airports and other infrastructural works across the country.
Administration is once again pushing a controversial immigration policy, this time targeting foreign students and other U.S. visa holders. If finalized, the rule would set strict limits on how long they can stay in the U.S. So the big question tonight, how can the Bahamas capitalize on this to keep more of our students here at home? Laurencia Smith has the details tonight.
For decades, foreign students on F visas have been allowed to remain in the U.S. under what's called the duration of status, essentially an open-ended tie to their academic enrollment. But under the Trump administration's latest proposal, that could change. The Department of Homeland Security says the rule is aimed at curbing what they call visa abuse, preventing students from enrolling indefinitely, a practice in which they say have cost U.S. taxpayers for years. Under the proposal, students' visas were capped at the length of the academic program, which is a maximum of 4 years. This isn't the first time student visas have sparked controversy. Just months ago, visa interviews were paused globally. When they resume, officials announced a comprehensive vetting process, including a thorough review of social media pages. Back at home, thousands of Bahamian students apply each year for visas to study abroad. Organization for Responsible Governance, ORG Executive Director Matt Albury says that countries have the right to enact policies as they see fit.
Countries and administrations all over the world that we've utilized it for these resources are going to change, right? They have their own policies, and if it becomes more of a nationalistic policy or a focus on those residents of that country, then that is absolutely going to affect the prospects of young Bahamians.
And he adds that this is also a prime opportunity for the Bahamas to set standards that ensure the nation retains the talent needed to strengthen both education systems and its workforce.
And we've struggled with this upon time because even before COVID, I think the stat was that 60% of the folks who went away were staying away. And so we definitely saw this issue of a brain drain. And I think that it's also important that we recognize that there needs to be a healthy market for Bahamian youth to be able to go and secure the various types of education that they would like, with the opportunity to then bring it back and apply it as locally as is possible.
At the same time, the University of the Bahamas is going through an accreditation process, which some hope will provide an additional push to keep more students at home. Government has also invested millions of dollars into education, including the expansion of BTVI, with the expectation of producing a stronger and more skilled workforce. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
As you heard, the Trump administration proposing tighter visa regulations, including mixed maximum terms for students, exchange and media visas, and expanded continuous vetting of some 55 million visa holders, including social media monitoring. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you support this new policy? 34% of our participants voting, yes, I support it. I agree that these stricter limits and vetting are necessary for better oversight and also national security, while some 55% voting concerned. I'm worried these rules could negatively impact academic freedom, press freedom, and international engagement, while 7% of you are neutral or unsure, saying that it's complicated. I see the potential benefits and also the risk. Well, tragedy on the island of Abaco this week as a 13-year-old boy went to a sleepover and never came home. His family is heartbroken tonight and are also demanding answers. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has more on this tonight.
An unimaginable tragedy has left the family of 13-year-old Montana Ferguson devastated. The teenager was at a sleepover in Crown Haven, Abaco, when he died in a house fire, an event his family describes as their worst nightmare. Eyewitness News spoke with his grandmother, Jacqueline Parker, who says the family's left searching for answers as Montana was in the care of others.
We ain't coming to terms because we don't know what happened, but we holding up each other. That's what family does.
Ferguson, just 1 week away from entering the 8th grade at Sherlin C. Boodle Secondary School, is being remembered by educators as, quote, a promising, respectful, and pleasant young man who brightened the halls and left a lasting impact on his classmates and teachers. Parker recalls the heartbreaking moment she received the call, news she then had to deliver to her daughter, Montana's mother.
Someone called and I answered and they say, Jackie, I said, yeah. She said, you know, as I said, no, sister, your grandson, where he's staying, that was on fire. That was it. I had to run to knock on her door to wake her up to let her know the bad news.
Video from the scene shows the home engulfed, reduced to ash as flames spread to nearby bushes. Parker says her grandson, full of life and energy, never made it out.
That child don't bother no one. That's the best, always with a big smile on. And I tell you, he tries everything.
With officials still investigating the cause of the fire, the family says all they have left are the memories made in his short life.
And his daddy go fishing and conking. Sometimes he'll go in the boat with his grandpa, getting crawfish and stuff. And you could ask Tanner to do anything, and he'll do it.
Investigators tell Eyewitness News the matter remains under review. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, a Supreme Court judge has sentenced Frankel Ferguson to some 35 years in prison for murder, stressing the need to send a strong message amid rising domestic violence. Ferguson appearing before Justice Dale Fitzpatrick yesterday as the court weighed factors on both sides before the sentencing. Prosecutors say on September 11th of 2020, Ferguson went to the Claridge Road apartment of his ex-girlfriend, Adriana Hamilton, where he confronted Charles DeMeritt. The encounter turned deadly when Ferguson stabbed DeMeritt to death. Witnesses testifying to the attack and a jury later rejected Ferguson's self-defense claim, convicting him of murder. During sentencing, Ferguson, a Rastafarian, objected to prison officers cutting his dreadlocks. Justice Fitzpatrick noted prior rulings protecting religious rights in custody and says his hair won't be cut unless ordered by a higher court. The case resumes Friday for further arguments on this matter. Meantime, a young mother breaking down in tears in court yesterday after a Supreme Court judge denied her request to delay serving time for vehicular manslaughter, ordering that she be taken straight to prison. Justice Gregory Hamilton ruled that there was no exceptional circumstances to justify deferring Ashanti Johnson's sentence despite emotional pleas for compassion so she could continue nursing her newborn baby. Johnson was handed a 6-month custodial sentence for causing the death of Kendrick Moss in a traffic accident on Queens Highway in Eleuthera. The crash occurred when she reportedly lost control of her vehicle, slamming into a wall and then a tree. In addition to the prison term, Johnson has been ordered to pay some $10,000 in compensation to Moss's estate by August of 2027. She was taken into custody immediately after the ruling by officers from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Originally, she faced up to 9 months behind bars, but her sentence was reduced to 6 months before yesterday's hearing. Her attorney already indicating plans to appeal the ruling. However, Justice Hilton making it clear that the matter has now concluded at the Supreme Court level. Well, if you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Eye on News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, eyewitnessnewsbahamas@gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, Atlantis turns slow. Their slow season now as they go for repairs and upgrades. We've got that story coming up, and later tonight, an update on the Palmetto Point Healthcare Project. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The new crispy barbecue bacon sandwich with barbecue sauce, cheddar, bacon, crispy onions, and an extra large chicken fillet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Back into school.
Captain Cash & Co. viral videos have shown you using what is said to be super speed to deliver cash to citizens around the world. Can you explain this?
Those people are simply taking advantage of Cash & Go's Cash Now money lending service, our easy-to-use money lending portal.
How does it work?
Well, you simply enter your information along with a recent payslip, a picture of your ID, and then select your loan amount and the repayment term. We review it as soon as possible. And then once approved, we could have your cash delivered to your mobile wallet, or we could send it directly to a bank of your choosing. Any more questions?
No. Thanks, Cash & Go, man.
It's Captain Cash & Go.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
$48. Shell coming in at $5.50. Esso $5.56. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, 51 newly minted immigration officers officially graduating today from training, a clear sign of the government's ongoing commitment to strengthen national security and investing in human capital. The graduation ceremony taking place at the Police Training College. It marks a milestone for the Department of Immigration as the newest officers prepared to take up their post. Delivering the keynote address was the Minister of Immigration, Alfred Sayers. He commended the officers on their achievements while also issuing a stern reminder. He's urging graduates tonight to carry out their duties with honor and integrity and an unwavering sense of national pride.
Uniform with pride. Carry out your duties with respect for the law and remain ever alert to the challenges of our time. This uniform is not just fabric and thread. It is a symbol of authority, service, and sacrifice. Carry it with respect, with dignity, and the weight of the duty it represents. You stand for the Bahamas. Every action you take will reflect not only on yourself, but on your families, your colleagues, and this department. Make us proud.
Well, the newly installed Director of Immigration, Stephen LaRota, also sharing remarks at today's ceremony, calling on officers to remain committed to the cause, noting that they play a crucial role in continuing to keep our borders safe.
Becoming an immigration officer is more than starting a job. It is choosing a path of service. Every officer here will play a role in protecting our borders, supporting national security, and helping to maintain order and stability in our society.
The work that you are stepping into carries great responsibility and calls for integrity, fairness, and respect in everything you do. None of you reached this day alone. I wish to thank your families and supporters who encourage you through your training. Your sacrifices, patience, and steady support made a difference.
Meantime, as the tourism industry faces its slowest terms, many hotels are tightening operations. But at the iconic Atlantis Resort, the downtime isn't going to waste. Instead of scaling back quietly, resort officials say they're using the slow season to retool and repair, preparing for the months ahead. Delano Roker has the details tonight.
The Atlantis Resort is taking advantage of the seasonal slowdown, using the dip in bookings to refocus on renovations and strategic improvements. Vice President of Administrations and Strategic Initiatives, Vaughn Roberts, says the quieter period coincides with the temporary closure of the Coral Towers.
Slowest part of the year across the board for tourism. Most of the resorts will be around 50% occupancy. And obviously on the cruise side, you'll see a reduction in cruise arrivals as well. The U.S. kids are back to school. Summer holidays are behind them. It's the start of a new school year. It just low travel period for us. So we're going to see a similar thing. This year at Atlantis, we decided to close Coral Tower as a way of like focusing and concentrating the occupancy into the rest of the property. We also had some repairs to get through on the Coral, so that's part of the reason for the closure as well.
Renovations are already underway, with Roberts noting that Atlantis is using the time to enhance guest experience and maintain its competitive edge.
Some of the things we needed to do, you just can't have, like we're going to be resurfacing the driveway coming into the Coral, and you just can't have any activity going on while that's happening. So we're using really the time to do a lot of the work that we needed to get done.
Although the skies are clear today and you can see behind me a line of tourists, the hospitality industry is currently in its slow season, and Roberts states the possibility of hurricanes contributes to the lull in guests.
December we do the November Battle for Atlantis, we have World Series of Poker. Those are traditionally slow periods that we've been able to program large group activities into, and we've all struggled with trying to do that in September, October, just because it's the peak of hurricane season, a threat of a hurricane even far south in the Caribbean. People don't travel to the Bahamas, right? So it's very difficult to do that. And some of the resorts have tried to look at October. Like I know our competitor has a big food festival in that time frame, but still it's not moving the needle in a big way yet. It's a big problem for us, and we're continually trying to solve it.
Staffing has also been adjusted, with some employees taking time off and also temporarily reassigned to other areas of the property.
The employees, you remember, a lot of our employees are long-tenured employees, so they're used to this cycle of slowness in September and October, so most of them bank their vacation so that they can take 8 weeks off during that time and do something else or spend time with their families. So a lot of that happens, and then we also have an opportunity to continue having some of them work, because we still need to be in the tower, maintaining the tower. The housekeeping still has to go through some of the rooms, security still has to be there, and then to the extent that others in other parts of the resort are on vacation, they're able to pick up some shifts in other areas, like at the Royal and elsewhere.
Rather than viewing seasonal gaps as a setback, Atlantis is leveraging the downtime to invest in its future, a strategic move that reinforces its position as a leader in hospitality. Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, a major boost to healthcare in Eleuthera is now closer than ever. Some 10 months into construction, the Palmetto Point Healthcare Facility, officials say the multi-million-dollar project is months ahead of schedule. Our Devontae Hanna has the details tonight.
The Atlantis Resort is taking advantage of the seasonal slowdown.
Nearly a year after breaking ground on the 14,000-square-foot Palmetto Point Healthcare Facility, contractor John Norris Carey says his team is months ahead of schedule.
This building, I'm hoping that it would be in 20 months, like I said, would be completed. So in 18 months, if we could have it, we'll be breaking record.
And doing so with a team of 50 Eleuthera residents hoping to complete the multi-million-dollar project in a year's time.
They've done a lot of work here, and a lot of persons on the ground from Eleuthera are working on the site. So this is a healthcare facility built in Eleuthera by Eleutherans.
According to South and Central Eleuthera MP and Works Minister Clay Sweeting, contractors are staying within the $8.8 million budget. Once completed, it will host a variety of services from x-rays to telemedicine. Echoing health officials, he hopes it can become a mark of what healthcare can look like on the Family Islands.
This would be a central functioning healthcare facility that would provide a delivery unit, pharmaceutical, ambulances, and the full genre of things that are needed for healthcare in the island.
And that is why contractor Carey and Eleuthroman himself believe the facility's construction and completion is all too important and can help cut costs for those living on the island.
As we have our people here, if it's an emergency flight, it costs us $7,000 to $10,000. If we got our foreigners here, the older they got, the scarier they were. And most of those, they went. But with this coming on stream, they don't have to go anywhere.
With plans in hand, a foundation in the ground, and walls mounted, all eyes are fixed on the facility's opening, which officials hope will be next year, barring unforeseen circumstances like weather delays. Devontae Hanna, Eyewitness News.
Well, a number of school-age teenagers granted a second chance following their graduation ceremony at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Second Chances two-week program. Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Jaswell Hanna, with oversight of the Schooling Division, says programs like this allow special trained officers to pour positivity into children who may have fallen to peer pressure and also social ills.
These young men and women are not bad kids or bad students or criminals, anything like that. These are young kids who are full of potential and promise. They're highly intelligent, they're very smart, and all they need is an opportunity and somebody to show them the care, love, and compassion that they need so they could thrive and be all that they can be. So when you see these kids, I want you to remember that. These are wonderful young people that we have been working with for several years now, these new graduates. They're all wonderful children. Let me just make that point. And if given the proper care and attention and love, who knows what they could be.
Meantime, officer in charge of the School Police Division, Superintendent Keith Ferguson, explaining the importance of celebrating the graduates ahead of the upcoming academic year, noting the mentorship given to kids will hopefully allow them to excel.
Today, we are here not only to celebrate with the participants of the Second Chance program, but we're also here to celebrate them. A wise man once told me, people usually go or they gravitate to where they are celebrated. So we are here to celebrate the hard work, dedication, determination, commitment, teamwork, and leadership ability you all have displayed over the last 2 weeks.
Well, with schools across the Bahamas preparing to be open, before we get to that, though, we do have the latest now coming from the Free National Movement camp over at their headquarters on Mackey Street. Our Jose Etienne standing by live tonight with the latest. As we know, some 7 candidates expected to be ratified for 7 constituencies here in New Providence. Jose?
Erupting here at the Free National Movement headquarters on Mackey Street. Again, the opposition party getting ready to unveil 7 candidates from 7 constituencies, 2 of them said to be strongholds for both major parties, and the remaining 5 battleground constituencies. And Janea, let me say from the onset that one of the 7 has already been unveiled. We're talking about Heather McDonald, who the party's been, who the party has identified as its candidate for the Engliston constituency. Now, again, Janea, that's a constituency that's said to be a stronghold for the governing Progressive Liberal Party. It's been represented by the current MP, the current member of Parliament, Glenys Mahana Martin, who's had a stronghold on that area for decades. And so this won't be an easy feat for Heather McDonald, who was also a political newcomer herself. Now, as it relates to other candidates who we expect to be ratified tonight, we're talking about Senator Michael Barnett Ellis, who the party's ratified as its candidate for the Killarney constituency. Now again, that area is said to be a stronghold for the FNM, but it's currently held by the former Prime Minister, Dr. Hubert Minnis, who's represented the area since 2007. Of course, we know, based on previous press briefings with the party's leader, Michael Pinjot, he made it clear that Dr. Minnis won't receive the party's nod. And so, Janelle, this now paves the way for what could possibly be some discord in the party as it relates to a former Prime Minister who still wants to retain the seat, whereas the senator now has the party's nod for the area. We're also talking about Tall Pines. That area is now being ratified, being represented by the party's Secretary General, Mr. Serpent Roll. And then you have, as we've said, the Freetown area. That constituency is going to be represented, the candidate for that area is Mr. Lincoln Deal, a businessman. We have Southern Shores. That area is going to be ratified. The candidate for that area is And then we also have the Series area, and we have the Fort Charlotte area. And then that area, Fort Charlotte in particular, is being represented by Travis Robinson, who's a former member of Parliament himself. He's switching from the Bain and Grandstown area to Fort Charlotte. But Janea, I also have alongside with me Mr. Diaglo, who's been the former member of Parliament for Freetown. He now joins me live as, again, he's going to talk about who's being ratified as the party's candidate for Freetown. Yeah. So again, today we do apologize. The music is loud behind us. It's very loud when we're competing, but we're doing our best nonetheless. Mr. Diaglo, we know you've been the member of Parliament for the Freetown constituency. Of course, you've bowed out of frontline politics. We know Mr. Deal, according to Party Insiders, has received the party's nod for that area, the area you've represented. Let's talk about Mr. Deal getting the party's nod for that area.
Well, we're about to indicate who our nominee is. It will be Mr. Deal. He's a young, vibrant, intelligent, successful entrepreneur who will connect with the young people and all of the constituents of Freetown. I can't wait to get on the ground with him, reconnect with those I represented in Parliament for 4 years and 4 months. And I think he's really going to be a first class. He's energized, he's useful, he's smart, he's intelligent, and I think he will provide excellent representation for the people in Freetown.
Now, even as this is all developing, there's been some concerns from other Freetown residents, constituents who are taking exception to Mr. Deal getting the party's nod. It appears they want Mr. Blue Johnson to be ratified as the party's candidate. What are your thoughts on Mr. Johnson and concerns that, the party, most of FNM supporters in that constituency won't support Mr. Deal?
Oh, I'm not of that view at all. I think that once the constituents of Freetown get to know Mr. Deal and see what a dynamic, interesting, insightful person he is, they will be connected with him. And so I'm fully supportive of him. I'm gonna help him on the ground. I'm gonna go down there and really connect with my constituents again and help him over the finish line. I think he'll be an excellent member of Parliament, and I'm looking forward to helping him.
Certainly. Again, you just heard from Mr. Diaglo, former Minister of Tourism, and of course, former member of Parliament for the Freetown constituency. Again, Janea, we just heard moments ago from the MC4 tonight, Heather McDonald ratified as the party's candidate for the Angleton constituency. She's just one of 7 who's going to be unveiled tonight. We're expecting the other 6 to be unveiled during the course of the night, but as we've said, a number of them, some of them, entering frontline politics for the very first time. Others, no stranger to frontline politics, either through their involvement in the upper chamber or the lower chamber. But for now, we're going to be here live for the duration of the night, providing continuous coverage on everything that's happening here through Mackey Street at the Free National Movement headquarters. Again, the opposition party unveiling its second tranche of candidates as we prepare for the next general election, slated for sometime next year, 2026. For now, sending it back to you, Janelle.
So much, our Jose Etienne live on Mackey Street. Well, with schools across the Bahamas preparing to reopen, Minister of Health Dr. Michael Darville says health teams are working diligently to ensure children return to the classroom safely. That includes reinforcing protective measures at public health facilities. This includes ensuring immunizations are up to date and closely monitoring any signs of infectious disease outbreaks.
Well, all of our healthcare facilities in the Family Islands and New Providence, as well as Grand Bahama, are seeing patients. We're doing our physicals. We're making sure these immunizations are up to par. And we're working very closely with the Ministry of Education because it's very important that, particularly in our pediatric group, that kids are immunized. The last thing we want is to have an outbreak of one of these illnesses, and it creates a major setback in the delivery of education in the country. So everything is moving as planned in our healthcare facilities, with our school nursing, in our clinics. We are also on the road for immunization to get the defaulters and make sure they're up to par, to get our numbers up, to make sure we're able to maintain herd immunity, because you hear about outbreaks of various types of conditions in close proximity to countries where we have tourism, and we want to make sure the Bahamian people are protected.
Darville says tonight his ministry is maintaining some strict oversight of respiratory illnesses and other infectious disease, particularly after a recent confirmed case of the plague in California. It raised some fresh concerns about global health threats.
Well, I could let the public be assured that the surveillance unit and my ministry is constantly monitoring what's happening in the country, particularly upper respiratory tract infections. By way of our reference lab, we are taking samples. We want to make sure what's in, and we are quite confident that as it stands now, we are not seeing anything above the normal that happens at this time of the year, and we will continue to do our surveillance. Of course, we have a high tourism-based economy, so we have individuals coming from across the world, but more specifically in states that we are seeing these upper respiratory tract infections. And so our surveillance unit are constantly monitoring our cases that show up at our clinics as well as at our hospitals.
Well, as the new academic year approaches, for many families, the rising cost of school supplies is adding significant pressure. Well, McDonald's, in partnership with the Ministry of National Security at the St. Andrews Presbyterian Kirk, they're stepping up to assure that no child is left behind where the new school year begins. They're providing some essential school items to students ages 4 to 16 within inner-city neighborhoods, including Kwaku Street, Fowler Street, and beyond. Belinda Chipman, a consultant center manager within the Ministry of National Security, she's emphasizing tonight that this initiative reflects a growing belief that national security begins not just with enforcement, but with empowerment, and that empowerment starts in childhood.
Is done by this church, St. Andrew's Church. They have been doing this for years, it seems. Our team came on last year. They invited us out, Mr. James Carey and his team, they invited us to come to be a part of it and to bring the children out to have a luncheon with them and also get their back to school things. And we have been very blessed. We partner with persons like these on initiatives like these because we do believe that it takes a nation and a village to raise children. Our minister is adamant about ensuring that we hit the grassroots of what criminals came from somewhere. And so the initiatives and programs that we have in place are all geared towards ultimately fighting crime and alleviating and erasing crime from the community through programs that are holistic, helping the children with conflict resolution and doing academics and doing health and wellness and doing environmental cleanups. Everything that touches a human life is what we believe in having programming to do. So you're growing them up in the way they should grow as children, and so hopefully when they're old, they won't depart from it and they will not get into a life of crime and criminology.
And following in the church's long-standing investment in the community, the St. Andrews Presbyterian Kirk pastor Jude Vilma says the church is following God with their community outreach.
You know, a lot of times churches are within their walls. To go outside the four walls and even change the vision of the church, where we are pursuing Christ's likeness and community transformation according to the Word of God. And so this church has had a stigma over the years of being the white church on the hill. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. And so we are more diverse now, and we have a lot going on. We are more missional, and definitely the leadership is more diverse. And so we're grateful to God for just his work over the years, and now we're just going to continue to build on this foundation.
In Eyewitness News tonight, the Atlantis Resort honoring some long-serving employees. We've got the details right after this, but first, here's a check on tonight's weather forecast.
For every shape-up, after-school activity, unplanned home repair, and other day-to-day spending, there's SandDollar. SandDollar is a convenient way to send and receive money instantly. Sand Dollar is easy to use. It's safe and secure. Just like physical cash, Sand Dollar is issued by the Central Bank of the Bahamas. And best of all, there are no fees for individuals to send or receive funds. Download a Sand Dollar enabled digital wallet and enjoy the benefits of the digital Bahamian dollar. Spend it locally. Transfer it to and from a local bank account or convert it to and from physical cash. Learn more at www.sanddollar.bs.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles.
Because I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day. Log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Tune in for a national back-to-school address by Education Minister the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin on Sunday, August 31st, 2025 at 7:30 p.m.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. Well, at a time when job turnover is high across many industries, Atlantis is turning the spotlight on those who've stayed the course for some 3 decades or more. The resort holding a heartfelt service today to honor its veteran employees. Russell Miller, Executive Vice President of Operations, says celebrating long-standing team members isn't just a yearly event. It's part of the resort tradition.
Well, we have a tradition of celebrating and recognizing our employees throughout the course of the year. But in particular, this celebration is so critical and so important that we honor and celebrate those who have been with us through 20, 30, and 40 years of service. And if you think about what that means, with all the changes and all of the additions that we've undergone, for them to be here and continue to serve and be loyal stakeholders to this organization only speaks volumes to their commitment.
Among those honored today, April Adderley, marking 20 years with the resort, and Monique Theophilus, an incredible 30-year veteran. Their decades of service are more than just milestones. They're stories of passions, patience, and purpose.
Well, my secret sauce will definitely be treating others the way you would like to be treated. Once you treat the guests and treat everybody else the way you would like to be treated, it makes your job a whole lot easier.
What discourages me most is to hear people talk about, another day on the plantation. But, those same persons weren't saying that during the pandemic. But if you just enjoy what you do, you have like one of our, serve from the heart. If you do that, then, it's a win. You come to work, it's a win.
Well, Disney Cruise Line is helping hundreds of students set sail into the new school year with its largest back-to-school donation, the company providing some $200,000 in supplies, books, and laptops to schools in Abaco, Eleuthera, and here in New Providence. It's tailored to each of the community's needs. In Abaco, Disney sponsored the South Abaco Back-to-School Jamboree, where Castaway Key volunteers distributed supplies and joined students in sports and games. Over in Eleuthera, New laptops and an updated library at the Wims's Bright Primary are now ready for students, equipped with computers, printers, books, and even a new AC unit. And here in Nassau, students at the Woodcock Primary, they received textbooks and laptops to help to lift the burden off of families. Disney officials say the goal is to ensure students feel prepared, inspired, and excited to learn. Well, that wraps up news at this hour. Coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, we are back at the Free National Movement headquarters as they continue to ratify 7 more of their candidates, bringing that total to 24 ahead of the next general election. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Man, I've been at this for hours, wait, trying to find this bucket list bliss treasure everybody talking about. Finally, Miko, you still out here digging for treasure like you was pirates? You out here sweating like you fighting for your life? Only thing you doing is putting sand in my drink, Miko. Miko!
Good news! You don't have to dig for this treasure. Just apply and get approved for a BOB loan or credit card, and you're in to win a trip of a lifetime. Plus other great prizes like water park passes, restaurant vouchers, and VIP movie tickets. Get approved and you could be living large in Las Vegas, striking a pose in Paris, catching a cab in New York, twisted spaghetti in Rome, looking royal in London, or shopping in Panama.
X marks the spot, and it's right here at BOB. And don't forget to get a loan with my name too, because I'm gonna ruin Miko.
Apply today for a BOB loan or Visa credit card. Win the trip of a lifetime plus weekly prizes. Email loans@bankbahamas.com.
Ready to insure your ride? Our new website is ready for you. Visit jsjohnson.com. Select coverages, go to Motor, and click Get a Quote. We've made it easier than ever to request a quote online. Fill in all the required fields. When you're done, hit Submit. You'll receive a response via email within 24 hours. Visit jsjohnson.com today.
Before that school bell rings, you need to pay a visit to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. See best tuna, 5 ounces, 85 cents. Best value whole kernel corn, 15 ounces, 99 cents. Sweet Gala apples, 3 for $1. Pretty Lady red or green seedless grapes, $3.99 per pound. Baby back spare ribs, $2.99 per pound. Boneless chicken breasts, $2.79 per pound. Save on school snacks and supplies at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastien, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Thembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Well has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden Well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastien, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Wise Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastien, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Wise Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Food.
Has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Straight ahead this evening, all eyes on Mackey Street at F&M headquarters. That is where the nation gets to see the F&M's latest batch of candidates. We take you live to F&M headquarters tonight. Also, a party executive joins me to talk about those who are getting the official nod. In fact, they've already had them. I'm sure you've seen the photos already, but no less, we will talk about that. And while that's happening, I think behind the headquarters or somewhere on the grounds, Andrew Blue Johnson, one of the F&M's hopefuls in Freetown, is on the outside of the headquarters with supporters in tow. TP, as he promised that he would be. Can you roll, please? Can you roll the TP? The supporters have been making their support of Johnson known since the start of this evening's candidate launch. We talk about that as well. And later tonight, Eleuthera's tourism boom. It's all coming up for you. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, the Free National Movement is rolling out its second batch of candidates. In fact, it's happened already. There are a total of 7 of them. It happened at F&M headquarters, and there's a whole lot of other things happening as well. Eyewitness News understands that the candidates are being ratified, and there are about some 7 of them, all eyeing 7 various constituencies right here in the capital. We understand that one of the candidates served before on the minister-led administration, while the remaining majority are women, set to represent some key areas. We go live to F&M headquarters with Jose Etienne. Jose, good evening to you. It's good to have you here. It seems now that the 7 are known. They're out on stage. This, I guess, a mini rally is now underway. What is the response at headquarters like?
Well, Shanique, I'm still here at the Free National Movement's headquarters on Market Street. I'm not even sure if you're able to hear me. I'm competing with loud music here as a wave of exhilaration, a crescendo of excitement is sweeping through the entire space as the F&M is unveiling its second grouping of candidates. So far, they just unveiled Dennerly Penn Mackey, who is now being tipped as the F&M's candidate for the Session Shores constituency. That's an area currently held by the Member of Parliament, who's also a pastor, Leroy Major. And of course, based on recent speculation and based on his appearance at a recent PLP module, there's mounting speculation that veteran broadcaster Clint Watson could be eyeing that particular constituency. And that's a point Denny Mackey raised moments ago as she threw political jabs towards the general manager, Clint Watson. But aside from him, aside from her, there's been other candidates who've been unveiled just moments ago as this event is still underway. So just to do a recap here, again, we have Helen McDonald, who's been ratified as the party's pick for the Engliston constituency. And as we've said, that's been a stronghold area for the governing PLP. And so some political pundits might argue, Shanique, that this could potentially be political suicide for McDonald. But then again, at the end of the day, the party made its decision to ratify this young woman, this young communications professional. And as far as she's concerned, she's going to make a run for the seat. Aside from her, we have Michaela Barnett Ellis, an active senator for the Opposition Free National Movement, who's been ratified as the party's pick for the Kalani constituency. She has yet to be revealed here officially, but so far we've already gotten the information. And so again, we've been advised she's been tipped for Kalani. Once again, another constituency that's been a safe seat, a safe haven for the opposition party for decades, for nearly 2 decades, really. It's been held by former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who is missing in action here tonight. Of course, the opposition party's executive, its leader in particular, Michael Pindar, has made it clear that Dr. Minnis, notwithstanding his representation of the area since 2007, he won't get the party's nod. And so here you have it, Michaela Barnett Ellis being ratified as the party's pick for that area. And then again, we have Serpent Roll, the party's pick for Tall Pines, an area currently held and represented by Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville. And I believe at this time, even as we're live, they're about to unveil the candidate. There you have it. Again, for the Freetown constituency, Lincoln Deal. Again, as we're talking, it's happening in real time. And I'm just going to step aside just so you can see what's happening. Again, he has yet to mount the podium. He's going to mount the podium moments after this visual presentation is done. But again, Lincoln Deal is a noted businessman here in New Providence. Of course, when we initially got here, Shanique, there was concerns as to whether Mr. Deal, as far as some residents, some voters in Freetown are concerned, is the right pick. Again, many of them seem to be disgruntled that Mr. Blue Johnson wasn't ratified as the party's pick. When we initially got here, he brought with him a large group of supporters who seem to be sending a strong message, even with the shirts that they're wearing, white shirts compared to the red shirts that most supporters are wearing. They seem to be sending a very strong message, a loud message that they, it appears, are disgruntled with the party's pick. But nonetheless, beyond Mr. Deal, we have, again, as we said, Denny Penmack. We also have Travis Robinson, a former member of parliament for the Bain and Grand Sound constituency. He's now hoping to make a return, this time in the Fort Charlotte constituency. This is not the first time, Shanique. We've seen former members of parliament under the previous Minnis administration now making a return, hoping to make a return, I should say, but this time with different constituencies. He already mounted the podium, making his case as to why he believes he should be the next candidate for the Fort Charlotte constituency. Again, that's an area currently represented by a veteran politician and Minister of Immigration and National Insurance, Alfred Sayers, who've already made it clear he's not seeking to be renominated. And then there's also Trevania Clark Hall, who's hoping to be the next member of parliament for the Seabreeze area. The previous member, political hopeful for that area is Senator Maxine Seymour, who recently intimated her decision to pull away from frontline, politics in terms of being a member of parliament. As far as she's concerned, based on that statement she sent, she's okay with just being in the Senate and continuing to champion for the opposition in the upper chamber. So again, Shanique, we're competing with loud music here. Again, I'm not even sure if you're able to hear me, but a wave of excitement erupting here through Mackey Street as 7 candidates being unveiled. 4 of them women, 3 of them men. Some of them not strangers to politics, others seeking to make their entrance for the first time into politics. It's all happening here through Mackey Street at the FNM headquarters. It's all developing, and we're going to keep you updated as to all that's happening. But before we wrap up, I'm going to take you one more time to the podium where you can see Mr. Deal already up there with a cadre of supporters, some of them from the Freetown constituency. Of course, let's also keep in mind, Shanique, that he was opting to be the candidate for the Kalani constituency. That clearly didn't go his way. And so we're going to get his thoughts on that. How does he feel about that decision? Again, that area is now being represented. Well, I should say, I think Senator Michael Barnett Ellis has been ratified as the party's pick for that area. But again, it's all developing here at the FNM's headquarters. I'm sending it right back to you, Shanique.
Thank you so much, Jose Etienne, live at FNM headquarters. With all that's happening right now, you see the nomination and the rollout is still going on. Just a moment ago, Lincoln Deal officially got the nod for the Freetown constituency. He is up at the podium right now. A few have already been named, and a few others are still to be named coming up this evening. But again, a total of 7 persons being named this evening, added to the 17 initially announced some months ago, to make a total of 24 known candidates to contest in the 2026 general election for the Free National Movement. Well, joining me this evening is the Vice Chairman of the Free National Movement, Denari Roll. Good evening to you, Denari. It's great to have you here. I imagine you perhaps wanted to be exactly where Jose is right now, but thank you for joining me this evening.
It's a pleasure to be here. Good evening, Bahamas. Thank you for having me here, Shanika. Like you say, I wanted to be in on the excitement, but duty calls, and I'll represent my party when the time comes, and I thank you for allowing me to be here to sit with you and talk about the FNM tonight.
Well, absolutely. We want to talk about these 7 people who got the nod. We know so much been made about the process and those going and sort of making their case in various constituencies. These 7 prevailed and are successful in securing the nod for the Free National Movement. You heard Jose. Jose said, listen, they already came out swinging. The candidate for Southern Shores, Denali Penn, already almost attacking, I imagine, or maybe trying to just put the fear of God in him. Somebody who has expressed interest for the Progressive Liberal Party, Clint Watson. Tell us about the 7 this evening, and especially Denali Penn. Let's just start with her.
Well, it might be, I would call them, Shanique, the Stellar 7. The Stellar 7 who was ratified tonight.
Yes,
and as you could see, majority of it are females. And so it's good to hear our lioness already roaring. We believe in women empowerment. I think probably the makeup of the FNM administration, incoming administration, is probably going to be the most women you've ever seen in Parliament. We're going to be intentional about women's rights, dealing with parenting, children, that sorts of stuff. And so we're serious about women empowerment. Normally they say politics is a male sport. And so we're happy that a lot of women now are coming forward and accepting the call to offer. I'm excited to see that Denali Penn Markey come out the gate swinging. It shows that she is ready. She's been working on the ground. She's a community builder by and large. She has an extensive history with her business. And you hear of the success stories in terms of what it was she would have done to people, where there's offering discounts, where there's giving free services for less fortunate. That woman is about working. So I'm not surprised to see the approach that she take. And I think she probably might have sent that jail, if I heard Jose correctly, at Clint Watson. So if you're coming, Mr. Watson, be on guard. You have a lioness who is roaring and ready to go.
You've put the challenge out there. Is the Free National Movement, though, I hope they're not too caught up in saying, hey, we want all these women out there to send a message rather than the right women. I say that to say there are quite a number of women. There's one in Seabreeze, and pardon me, I don't know her name. You can perhaps call a name for us.
Yeah.
The one in Seabreeze, and then, of course, others. And then there's Heather McDonald in Angliston. There is Michaela Barnett in Killarney. How do you feel about this sort of move to ensure that women are out front? Are they as prepared also to serve the constituencies that they have been given the official nod for, and also to really bring and make a meaningful difference? That's what people want. They don't want to see somebody showing up just because they're a woman. Can they actually make a difference?
Well, Shanique, I want to let you know, and just let the record reflect that those women pick those seats of interest. So the candidates that we have there, it wasn't like this was a, hey, you go here, you go there, you take this, you take that. Often the public like to say this leadership is running some type of dictatorship, or the FNM is under strict rule. But I'll have you know that each of those candidates would have chosen the areas that they represent. And they were up to the challenge. It wasn't forced upon them. They offered, they picked their constituency, and they came out on top. They were the successful choices. And when you look at them, I have belief in them because I think 4 of them probably might be under the age of 45, vibrant, and have at least 15 plus years already, like I say, in community work. And so whilst you might have in Angliston a political giant in Mrs. Honorable Glennis Hannah Martin, Heather McDonald has taken up the mantle, and she said she's going to go after it and she wants to make history. And so it isn't like she is scared, she is afraid, she is going to go for the fight. And that's the fight inside of her. Trevania Clark Hall Watson, Trevania Clark Hall, sorry.
This is
She's
Seabreeze.
a JP, yeah, the
Yes.
JP in Seabreeze.
What has her track record been
Yes.
like? Because I'll tell you, and later in tonight's show, you all listen, don't move, because what me and the panelists are going to do is actually show you the matchups and then discuss them and how they're likely to look. But what has her track record been? You said these ladies are all quite experienced in community service, etc.
Travania Hall, she is a JP, a Justice of the Peace, first of all, and then she's also a licensed farmer. So she is in the agriculture industry, and she believes in manufacturing and then farming. She also does like women empowerment, and she's a part of a extensive global body with the women empowerment and women inclusion rights. And so her work, she's actually a resident of Seabreeze. She's been living there for some 20 plus years now, and she grew up in a political family. I think she's the niece of Woodside, Byron Woodside, the Honorable Byron Woodside. And so she grew up in politics. She started off her work within the primary constituency, and then she started recently working with the Seabreeze Association. You would have heard Senator Maxine Seymour withdraw for personal reasons and not offer herself in frontline politics, and so Travania stepped in. She's going to be assisted by Senator Maxine Seymour, and whatever is needed to get done to go after.
Senator Maxine Seymour is willing to support even though she stepped out?
Definitely. She's still willing to assist the party wholeheartedly. And she still is working with the party, you know. So she just is not running this election cycle. And so she still is willing to assist as the former candidate for the area, still willing to assist Ms. Clark Hall in building a platform and reaching the residents of Seabreeze. And like I say, she's a community advocate. She lives in Seabreeze, so obviously she has relationships with her neighbors and just building and expanding on what it is that she already done, like I say, in the farming industry through her business. And then she's also an HR specialist. So again, I think her work in the community and what she did through her business, being a JP and that sort of stuff, is easily translatable on the ground. And you have to be able to relate to people, and I think that's what she will be able to do.
And I'm happy you mentioned that because
is about people.
It's about people and relating to people, relationships, all right? I wanna ask you about this, and I go back to this because it was a handful of men in Seabreeze, well before you all even intended to have tonight happen, talked about the fact that they were turned off by Maxine Seymour because of her strong, as you say, women inclusion, women empowerment message that has been coming strong from the Senate. Not that they're opposed to women or women being protected and the rest of it, but it just seemed very almost agenda driven. And so how careful is the FNM not to teeter, or even the PLB? I mean, I wouldn't want to see any party go too strong in any which direction, particularly when you push on that women's right. Women, we got rights, you understand? And do we need further protection? Fine, that's good. Make those things happen. But just to have the right people around the table. And so when you hear something like that, how are you careful to have the Seabreeze candidate just bring about more balance when she goes there? Because the men have been speaking and have already been complaining against Seymour.
Yeah, well, what I'd say to that, Shanique, is though, like, the reality is politics has been a male sport. Men have ego, we have ego. And so the reality of it is, like you said, it has to be a balanced approach. Although the residents of Seabreeze may have suggested that, you know, women inclusion might have been forced upon them as, like they said, probably by Senator Maxine Seymour, though, when you look at her message, how is it actually translated to actual real time in terms of women dominance or women empowerment? Is her message of women empowerment only because she wants the women empowerment? Is it being heard? Is enough awareness being brought? Does women have enough of a voice? And so it's only a thing of having the necessary conversations and taking the gentleman along the lines just to understand, because again, it's not that you're trying to move the man aside, but I think through conversation and just hearing her out to get they hearing Ms. Hall out about what the message is and bringing about that balance and the approach that we need to leadership, because sometimes us men, I could go on record and say we let our ego get in the way, but that's not always good for politics. It's not always good for
a woman
people.
has her role in the space, but you know, you don't need to soften it up. I mean, we need this nation needs a firm hand moving forward in so many areas. We know that. Let's move along and talk about the gentleman we saw at on the stage just before Jose wrapped up that live drop a moment ago. Lincoln Deal.
Yes.
Lincoln Deal is, I tell you, he I don't know who is most noted because we can get to Travis Robinson in a moment, but Lincoln Deal, officially now the candidate for Freetown.
Yes.
Now, you saw what's happened this evening as well. On this show, I think it was Tuesday evening, I had Andrew Blue Johnson here, and he said, listen, he's showing up there because he is going after the nomination. But this evening, the Free National Movement made its position very clear, didn't stutter, and said Lincoln Deal is our man, and he will be getting this nomination this evening. Is the FNM at all minded to somehow try and reach out to a Blue Johnson with the hopes of not having him become a distraction as you all obviously would want Lincoln to go and be successful in that race?
So what I would say is it's a process in terms of how you become a candidate. You apply, you put in an application, you would have had to go through a training, and then you would have to go through a vetting committee or whatever. What I'd say is Mr. Blue did not go through that entire process. However, despite that fact, when you apply for application, you just vet the candidate, right? We saw some things in terms of history, like he would have, I understood, went on record and said he has a track record or history that probably he might be not proud of, but it made him the man he is today, and that's good that he is progressing. And so based off what we saw, they didn't see the need to further engage based off his track record. However, we still would have reached out to him, the party would have reached out to him, spoken to him in regards to just his approach and his position, to tell him that, that our choice is Mr. Lincoln Deal, and we are moving forward. So if you wish to come out and have a peaceful demonstration, we respect that, but just know that the F&M is going with Mr. Lincoln Deal.
Also, he was given a notice ahead of time.
Yes, we spoke to him, and like I say, because at the end of the day, everybody have a right to free speech, and this. It's talk to us. And so again, everybody, the leadership is heavy-handed, the dictatorship and the likes. It's always mentioned. I'm just here to set the record fair. That's far from reality. As much as they portray it out there, communication always has happened, and most of these issues come from the fact that leadership, in my view, is over-communicating. They're talking so much, but sometimes it's a no resolve. And at one point in time, we just have to make a firm decision, stand by it, because again, ultimately, that's what you say. Leadership has to put its foot down and stick to its mandate.
Yes, I have a response. I'll tell you this. I have to get your response to this. Let me just read an excerpt from this. You imagine the Progressive Liberal Party watched very closely this evening's rollout. Already. So let me just read this. Of course, right? Of course, this is your interview, the Free National Movement space, but hey, it's the political season.
That's fine.
So here is it. The latest announcement of additional candidates by Michael Pintard only confirms what Bahamians already know. Michael Pintard cannot build a team that is ready for prime time because he himself is not ready for prime time. Instead of welcoming fresh ideas and independent thinkers, Mr. Pintard continues to surround himself with yes men who simply echo the views of those pulling his strings. That is not leadership, that is weakness. How do you respond to that?
6 of the 7 candidates are new and fresh to the political scene, who have a life of public service in front of them and behind them, and we'll go on record and share their plan, as I'm sure. And so when the PLP talks about rhetoric, we could just compare the reality, who is new from who is not, who has been there before and who hasn't. And again, people works are going to speak for them. The Bahamian people don't want a condescending government who think they have arrived. I want to remind them they won the election on the lowest voting turnout in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And based off my view, their performance now, in my view, probably cost them loose support. So be very careful with that approach. Be very careful with your condescending, because most of those people are new to the political arena.
I thank you very much, Denari Roll. Awesome speaking with you this evening, and I look forward to doing this again.
Hope to be back.
Yeah, hearing your thoughts. My pleasure. Hearing your thoughts and all that on the what you call them, the what 7?
Stella 7.
The Stella 7.
Stella 7. I love it.
My gosh, I tell
Stella
you, that
7.
alliteration. I tell you, is I don't know. I'll see how it catches. But thank you for being here this evening.
It's a pleasure.
You're welcome. Listen, when we come back, the Hot Topics panel is here, and they are ready to jump in and give their opinions on what took place this evening and all the people who have been officially rolled out. Of course, that's still happening there, but we already have the information ahead of time. So we will love to get into this and share our thoughts, hear your views on the Stellar 7, as Denario called them. We're back in a moment.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best-kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school.
They have ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for almost every school in the Bahamas.
At Carrie's, find skirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers, boy shorts and long pants, neckties, socks, and more.
You can even have your uniform skirts custom made.
Check out our selection of embroidered cotton shirts.
That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street.
Call us at 393-0758 or 817-0758.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you tuned in this evening. The Hot Topics panelists are here, and they are really, first of all, they've been paying attention to the drop, of course, with Denario and I speaking here, and now they are ready to weigh in on the 7 who were ratified this evening. Of course, if you missed it, the ratifications took place for Angleton, Killarney, Tall Pines, Freetown, Southern Shores, Seabreeze, and Fort Charlotte. That happened this evening. In fact, it's still unfolding at F&M headquarters at this moment. And so welcome in to Beyond the Headlines, and good evening, Peggy Candace and Michael Turnquest. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Good evening, Bahamas, and good evening, Shanique. Pleasure to be back.
It's good to have you both. Listen, the Free National Movement, I guess, grabbing the attention this evening. And of course, that attention is on the fact that they have added 7 people to the initial 17 that were ratified some time back. Where do we even begin? Where do we jump in? We could perhaps talk about Blue. And I did ask the vice chairman of the Free National Movement, Denari Roll, I said, listen, Blue can be a distraction, because obviously he has some level of support in the fact that he had people walk into F&M headquarters with him, is there a plan maybe to reach out so that you can not have that fraction there in our Freetown? Your thoughts on how this all played out? Did the F&M pull a trump card in that they went right ahead, regardless of anything he had planned, and ratified Lincoln deal? Or should they have waited for a moment and to try and mend those fences and move forward?
You know, Shanique, I think people need to understand, it's the game of politics. I've been down this road before, 2007, under the F&M banner, and you don't own nobody, you owns the party. You're under an organization. At the end of the day, they have the last say. Nobody can say, I can say I want to go to Kalani as well. That doesn't mean I'm going to be the selected person to go to that particular constituency. What I think people get, after you start going and you start meeting people, you start knocking on doors, you start to feel that connection with the community. You tend to. I tell people it's like you get bite with that political bug, and you want to be that candidate, and you are willing to go to do extreme things in order to show that, hey, I'm here for the long haul. At the end of the day, the party went with their selection, which is Lincoln deal, and I think this is where, and all parties go through it, because at the end of the day, there's going to be, the PLP will eventually go have some constituencies where persons who vying for positions, even current sitting members who might not be re-elected or be selected to run in certain areas. So at the end of the day, I think now it's time for these 7 constituencies, where those healing processes to go through, which every party goes through. It's always better that it happens earlier rather than later, closer to the election, because then it becomes a true distraction. The party still has time to speak to individuals and start actually trying to garner the support of whether it be of blue supporters or get him back on course in terms of or at the end of the day, he also has a mind of his own. He has a choice that he might want to go and do something else. But it's all choices. We all have choices, and at the end of the day, I always tell people in politics, I don't consider people being F&M or PLP, because at the end of the day, every party needs those F&Ms that didn't vote for them the last time, or those PLPs to come over and join her. If you want to win an election, it's a numbers game.
You need them all.
You need them all.
And that was the basis for my question, Peggy. The fact that, listen, the F&M in Freetown needs them all. And so Blue obviously has some level of support. He proved that tonight. And so, the F&M would need to make amends with him, I feel.
Shanique, according to Mr. Roll, who was just there, the F&M reached out to Mr. Blue and informed him that Lincoln deal would be their choice for Freetown. And so the drama of it is what we saw tonight. I also read on Mr. Blue's page that he will consider whether or not he run as an independent candidate, which will make it so much more interesting in Freetown, because you will have four candidates, and with that number, I think the current administration will stand a better chance of victory in Freetown. And so it is all interesting. But I said the drama was just what it is. Every time there's drama.
Yes,
I think a lot of people don't realize at the end of the day, if you're part of a team, a baseball team, whatever it might be, at the end of the day, the coach makes a decision where they say, hey, I need you to come off of first base because I feel as though so and so would be stronger on first base. At the end of the day, you have to be a part of a team, and you have to understand, hey, this is what the decision is. This might help us along the way. It might hurt us, but at the end of the day, everybody learns from their lessons. When I went in 2007, when I vied for the F&M candidacy in Marathon, I went around door to door getting signatures and this, that, the next, but I was still not the selected individual. So I know exactly what persons are going through. I ended up running in Kennedy in 2007 election under the F&M banner. So, I know the way politics works. I know the way, at the end of the day, decisions are made, and decisions are made for a reason. And I think that time, Earl DeVoe had ran in Marathon.
Let's look at Dennery Mackey. She came out with on all cylinders, just blazing. She went after, though. Well, let's talk about what her strategy was this evening. In her opening remarks, she went directly after somebody who has expressed an interest for the Progressive Liberal Party in Southern Shores, and that's Clint Watson. We all know we've been talking about him for the last, 48 hours or 24 hours now, just over. And so, what do you thought? Would you all, Peggy and Michael, would you all thought about Dennerly choosing to do that, and was that the wisest thing to do?
I don't know if she has information that I might not have, or she sees the writing on the wall. But at the end of the day, my view in terms of, especially when you're, I consider a competition. To me, the person on the side of me, or who I'm going against, who I might be going against, to me, I don't mention them at all. I don't want to. They're non-existent. Yes. It's about me. It's about me and the constituency. At the end of the day, I think the MP is Leroy Major at the moment. We don't know what the PLP is going to do with him, but at the end of the day, I think she needs to keep the focus on her and what she's going to be doing in the constituency for the people of Southern Shores.
Southern Shores.
Yeah.
The strength of Dennerly Penn candidacy would have been the current Member of Parliament, Mr. Leroy. However, Clint Watson will put a different spin on that. Southern Shores appear to be almost a sure win for the FNM if Mr. Leroy would have run off himself again in the PLP running. But they're making Clint Watson a fifth factor for the FNM. The amount of tension that they're giving to him, campaigning against somebody who just expressed interest mean.
So what are you saying?
You can be a threat.
You're saying the news release yesterday and her jumping out the gate this evening is an indication of what?
You are targeting somebody who just expressed interest. So what is your concern? Does he decrease your opportunity? That's the question I'm asking.
The person
of him?
Generally, she is a very fiery individual.
Yes,
she's very aggressive in everything that she does. So I don't, I expect it from her, but at the end of the day, I don't think she is fearful of anyone or anything. Anything that she takes on, she grabs the bull by the two horns, and she goes into the fight.
But make sure it's the right bull. Yeah. You ensure a Clint Watson being the candidate.
What if he is? How would that matchup look?
It would be very interesting. I think it will not be a pathway of an easy pathway for Miss Penn Mackey. She is a charismatic person. She's also somebody who is gonna spend in her area. And so she needs somebody who's going to match her not only in charisma, but in finances. And if you are looking at that possibility, she needs somebody who's going to be a strong contender. And obviously, she feels, according to our expression tonight, a reported expression tonight, she feels that Clint Watson, he's known. He is known. Clint Watson sat at this desk and he had a following. What do you call them? The Cubs. Clint Watson is charismatic based on his spiritual interaction, known for being a great singer and working with young people, building choirs. And so Clint Watson is not a stranger to the Bahamas. And I think all of those factors definitely match Dennerly Penn's Mackey being known, being charismatic. I'm sorry, being charismatic, and like I say, she gonna spend on her campaign.
I think it's a good matchup. At the end of the day,
it does appear to be one of those interesting ones to watch if it happens. Yes.
Right, and at the end, it's going to boil down to the ground game. Who has the best ground game? Who can get to every house? Find every individual that's on that voter registry and ensure that they belong there, first of all, but at the end of the day, also be able to touch them, speak to them, find out what their concerns are and how they can assist and what they bring to the constituency. That particular matchup is going to be, I call it the groundhog, the groundhog game in terms of
it's so awesome. We didn't expect that. Yeah. So these are some interesting races that are just sort of manifesting right there. The Southern Shores, we certainly will keep an eye on that, yes, right? Definitely. Before Chance gives me the indication to wrap on this segment, I need to go here. You all know exactly where it is. If you all just take a guess, Killarney. Let's look at Michaela Barnett Ellis, who she is, what she's brought. What are you hearing about her in Killarney?
You know, from what I've gathered, I mean, I've heard, you know, she's been on the ground. People have been gravitating towards her. You know, I think that's going to be, and it goes back. You know, you have, I always tell people, you have F&Ms and you have PLPs. At the end of the day, that's what the country, how we vote. You know, people say, well, okay, what about the Dr. Minnis factor? Yeah, you have people that love Dr. Minnis, but at the end of the day, people are going to wonder, at the end of the day, who is going to run the country? Whether is this going to be Dr. Minnis? Yeah, okay, he's going to run the constituency. But a lot of people vote for their party. It's going to be a lot of individuals. He might take some of the votes. Is it enough to actually, you know, allow the PLP to win? I don't know. I can't. You know, the numbers will tell at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it goes back to the ground game, and those that sit in people's homes and touch their hearts, you know, and their minds and everything, and get them to say, hey, you know something, I'm going with you.
And that person that he just described just happens to be Dr. Minnis. It is my position. If 4 persons are running, 4 candidates in Kalani, it also increases the chance for PLP being victorious in Kalani. If we look at it, Dr. Minnis has been a great member of parliament for Kalani, and so he has earned the people's respect and trust. And I have family members who we came
and
out
it's
of
happened in the F&M before. Tennyson Wells done it in Bamboo Town. We've seen it happen numerous times, and I think he might have done it twice.
Pierre DePuche as well.
Yes,
and so many number of people. Hubert Ingram, right?
I mean, and all of these were senior politicians who went and and ran independent.
Right.
And of course,
it's the fact is he also benefits because largely his constituency, they are not looking to him with this, and so he is showing up for those who desperately need him as an MP, and for the others, he's been there to help push whatever they need to happen forward.
Yeah. You can say whatever you please about Dr. Minnis when it comes to leading the country, leading the Free National Movement, but when it comes to being the member of Parliament, the representative of Kalani, there's few who can compare to his representation, to his involvement in that constituency. When it comes to the children, when it comes to adults, Dr. Minnis have a
when it comes to the safety I can't forget, because in this show we've talked about it a lot. We've talked about stuff he's done a lot.
Right.
I remember one time we talked about him putting Ring doorbells, security cameras, CCTV cameras throughout Killarney, especially in the more crime-ridden areas, to ensure safety and security and an overall sense of well-being.
He's really greatly appreciated.
He has come up with a lot of innovative community ideas that throughout the community has helped Kalani, and people have appreciated. You know, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the Senator Michael O'Barnett to, you know, she's going to have to do not 1 round, she's going to have to do 2, 3, 4 rounds in the Kalani constituency, touching people to get them to believe that she is a better representative than the current
and a PR. Listen, Dr. Minnis PR is the head of everybody.
Listen to me.
That's Stella. If you're going to use Stella.
He's his own PR.
He's his own PR. I'm waiting for him to doggone test some, I don't know what next. What we need him to test?
I don't know. We have to wait and see, because he's been running an excellent PR campaign. And so her challenge starts with PR.
Absolutely.
Her challenge starts with competing with Dr. Minnis.
She can have to move her hands.
She got to step it up, because politics now also is about optics and persuasion.
And you know, when Dr. Minnis first got it, it was a whole, I think, a crew of people to try and get him to be more personable and bring out his personality to get him, because at the end of the day,
sometimes it takes time.
Yeah, and it does take time. It's trust me, going out in front of hundreds and hundreds of people is not an easy thing, and also touching them one by one.
I think the F&M taught Dr. Minnis to fight back.
Well, he's learned to fight.
He's definitely fought.
He's learned that.
And still fighting.
And still fighting. Very, very quickly. Travis Robinson, and someone who is reportedly interested in Fort Charlotte as well for the Progressive Liberal Party, Sebas Bastien.
Travis Robinson, in my view, have the strongest ground games in the entire Free National Movement. He have a strong team on the ground, a lot of young people. He always attract young people to his campaign from Grand and Bainstown. The challenge with Travis Robinson, he would have been wonderful, almost easy breezy if he was going up against the current MP.
That's going to be another
another
one to watch. At the end of the day, I think knowing the two individuals and the one that
possibility
also is a very person that loves the ground and hits
and change Sabas. I want to call his name. Sabas changed the game in Fort Charlotte. The advantage of Sabas in Fort Charlotte is that Fort Charlotte will have a member of parliament who is capable of taking care of the constituency without the government help. And I think that will be the appealing factor for Fort Charlotte. And so Fort Charlotte has turned in. And when we look at Clint Watson, Sabas, we see the immediate pushback from the FNM. So something special in those two guys.
We're going to pick this up of tomorrow's show and next week and continue to talk about it because after all, we are in the political season, right? But really interesting races that are developing and continue to develop. When we come back, we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk about how Eleuthera continues just to, be amazing in its economy, its tourism industry, and investments, and so much more. We're back after this.
Are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Edenwell.
So my name is Dr. Sophia Roll. I'm the resident artist for the Via Hamea Art House and Gallery. This is not something that I've gone to school for, if you will. I'm a professor. I recently got into art in 2015 because it was something that I always wanted to do. I saw something about fluid art, the abstract expressionism of fluid art really drew me. And so I'm always thinking now about art. I see the world through art. So that is, for me, very, very gratifying, very, very satisfying. So receiving the Women's Initiative grant really impacted the business because it allowed me to see in that I could have taken my craft, my art, outside of the gallery walls and really maximizing on some of the training, some of the skills that we learned. The advice that I would give to not only women, but anyone who's interested in starting a small business or starting a business is to just get started. You have to take the first step. And if you take the first step, you'd be amazed at how far you can continue to walk in that space.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you continue to join us. Just before we wrap up, I want to share this story with you. Eleuthera is seeing record visitor arrivals. Aviation officials say the island has seen a marked improvement in numbers, and we know it's been happening. It's almost 10 years now that this boom has just been continuing, and investments and second home ownership and just so many things happening. And while there are challenges that remain, like the utilities that are dragging slowly behind trying to catch up and keep pace, they believe the island is on a major upswing. We get the story from Devontae Hanna.
Actually, this is the best Eleuthera has ever performed.
And the numbers do not lie, Deputy Director General and Aviation Director Dr. Kenneth Romer asserts.
Eleuthera is actually exceeding 2019 figures by some 37%.
It comes with a 7% increase in foreign air arrivals compared to last year. Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper believes the increase in arrivals show Eleuthera is on a massive upswing and becoming a destination of choice.
Eleuthera has an authenticity and a vibe that tourists love and they come for. I anticipate that the buzz for Eleuthera is going to continue and the growth is going to be sustained.
And even with the Silver Airways market exit, Cooper says Bahamas Air has been working to fill the void. Adding to that, Aztec Airways direct flights from Fort Lauderdale to North Eleuthera.
At the end of the day, the islands need service, and we're here to provide it.
While mounting concerns linger around the island's unreliable utilities becoming a detractor for guests and an issue for businesses, Cooper is confident those issues will be handled in due course.
The heavy lifting is being done with airports and roads and the hospital, etc. This is simply fantastic for the island of Eleuthera to build capacity and a foundation on which the growth can continue.
Listen, let's get back, come back out live here. Really awesome. And as I want to give you both an opportunity to speak, because we were talking during that story about just Eleuthera's boom and the fact that, you know, the only distraction from what's happening is keeping pace. The utility is keeping pace with what's happening. It's nothing new. It's been happening for decades under so many, whether it's water and sewerage or BPL, leadership teams there. And just trying to patch and fix. And now that this energy reform is happening, we are just hoping it happens because based on what's even in the pipeline, not more than that is expected for the island of Eleuthera. Your thoughts, Peggy and Michael, about just what looks so amazing for the economy there?
I'm a happy Eleutheran tonight. I've been following the team, the Deputy Prime Minister and the Director of Aviation majority of the day because they've been throughout the island of Eleuthera. They've been South and Central, they've been to Governor Saba Airport, and also the clearing of the ground for the extension of the North Eleuthera Airport. And so we are very appreciative of what the attention that this administration is putting on Eleuthera. Of course, you mentioned the utilities, and one of the challenges that is created by this exceptional boom in Eleuthera is that the great BPL is incapable right now until upgraded, until the new solar system plan and all of the plans that BPL have for upgrades in the island of Eleuthera. The system can't keep up with the boom, and even though it is a negative, it's also a glorious thing that Eleuthera is just accelerating with investments and now the airport's improvements. The Governor Saba Airport is reportedly going to be completed by December of this year. And so things are happening, great things are happening, and I'm so pleased to know this.
You know, I'm happy for any island. I'm happy for Eleuthera to see that, you know, the increase in tourism, the tourism product has continued to sell, and, you know, the gross domestic is rising. But at the end of the day, I always say, you know, I think, and I hope this will be a learning lesson, because the statistics and data is always there that shows that, you know, this is, Eleuthera hasn't just started this ramp up in terms of this boom that's been going on. This one's going on now for decades. I think all, not to say decades, but for almost a decade plus,
yes.
That all administrations would learn from data that when they see this type of
Let's
uptick,
try, jump ahead of
you know,
this.
let's try get
Yeah.
ahead and stop always trying to play catch up, and especially our family islands. We've been too Nassau centric for too long.
Yes.
A lot of people have become tired. A lot tired of the Nassau tourism product because it's become too commercial. You know, now people want to go and see our family islands. They want to go do the Exumas. They want to do the Keys. They want to do Eleuthera. They want to do, you know, Cat Island, whatever. You know, these small islands. They want to now get to the authenticity of what the Bahamas really have to offer. And that's why you're seeing, you know, and a lot of the islands are seeing an uptick in terms of people trying to get there.
People want that indigenous, organic experience.
Yeah. But we have to get ahead in terms of the infrastructure when we see these type of upticks on certain islands or keys where people are trying to get to but they can't, or they're getting there. You know, we have issues with water, we have issues with electricity, issues with whatever it might be, or the transportation, things of that sort. So, you know, I hope this is a learning lesson, and we try to get ahead on other islands and give people, you know, the infrastructure that people will really allow a bigger influx to come in.
You know, Shanique, this administration is trying to catch up, and like you say, hopefully keep ahead of it. If you listen at Cat Island, there was an announcement made by BPL that Cat Island will no longer be load shedding because the generation has been put into place already.
Oh, that's good news.
And so each island is getting individual attention of improvement when it comes to the electrical service, and it will take time, but it's been a legacy problem for those corporations and for those islands, and so keeping up, catching up is what is happening.
And staying ahead.
Yes.
Listen, as we wrap up this evening, I want to ask each of you which candidate this evening that was ratified by the Free National Movement looks most interesting to you, or that you'll be watching to see how that race sort of plays out.
I think the Southern Shores,
Yes.
I think Southern Shores definitely will be the one to watch. And I guess, you know, Freetown will be interesting. You have a young, vibrant, you know, person who is, you know, new to frontline politics. You know, it'll be, you know, interesting to see what he brings to the table in terms of whether it be from, you know, a social media perspective, policies, community things of that sort. You know, we know him to be a businessman, and he has done a lot of great things inside the business community, and it'll be very interesting to see what he brings to the Freetown constituency.
Freetown, Southern Shores, Kalani. I at this time is I'm not able to do matchup. There's only two of them that's capable of doing matchup with, but it will be interesting. Everything is determined by whom the PLP send as a candidate that can affect what is going to take place, especially with the ground campaign. And so those constituencies, just for the dynamics, the changes, how would Lincoln Deal fit in with a Freetown? Can he or the people relate to him as a leader? And so I think it's going to be very interesting to run. We spoke about Dr. Minnis, his campaign, his established relationship with his constituency. And then once everything is confirmed, how does the senator match up in that area? And then again, there's Southern Shores. Whom the PLP sent to Southern Shores
it's going to be key, huh?
Is key. And so it is very interesting to watch. McDonald and just Gladys Anna is like, keep the oxygen tank on hand to resuscitate this young lady. But I guess somebody put on my page, she will be taking one for the team, indeed.
I thank you very much, of course, to both of you at the top of tonight's show. A special thanks to FNM Vice Chairman Denari Roll. Thank you very much for joining me here on the show in studio. And of course, my Hot Topics panelists, Peggy Scott and also Michael Turnquest. I thank you both as well. And I want to say a big thank you. It got me all over the place.
You forget me.
All over. Call a name. You have no idea. I want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. It's certainly been awesome having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller, making a great evening, everyone.